Here.
Alderwoman Tulane Smith, present.
Control, Lewis Williams, control the city of Harvard.
Okay. So I guess we'll go in the order of these bills that they generated. First one will be for the reading for June 24th. I'll just go here. There was one item. Gemini's was 6,500 and the first May for 15,000.
Public relations,
Public relations.
self-insurance, seal of everything.
Yeah, that's,
Page 2.
yes.
Okay, Jennifer, okay.
Keep me on the communications department.
Yes.
Yes.
What's the word again? I'm sorry.
Public relations. With all this pressure.
This is all this press? Yeah, press is all press.
Under grants and capital projects, Cortex Construction Group, $205,764.
Those are people community hubs.
I was under the impression that those hubs were grant.
They are grant funds, but they're still very expensive.
Okay, all right. Well, you have any other questions, Delane? Okay. Motion by the chairman to ratify the June 24th bills list. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, we'll go to July 8th. Yes, under general fund for a cleaning specialist, body board, we know, but who we write that check out to? Exactly.
That cleaning specialist is the name of the company.
Oh, I thought when body was picked up, that it had to be picked up by the coroner's office.
That's what I always thought too. I've been trying to get some clarification on this too.
Is that okay?
That's on page 3, actually.
On the police department.
Awesome. I can say something.
It's on the general fund, but it's on the police, on the department.
It's on the police department, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I asked Biggs for some clarification. I just, how we been in contact.
Yeah.
I understand on the homicide, but I don't understand what
Right, if somebody just have a heart attack and
Yeah,
you
you call the coroner, call the coroner.
I was under the impression that nobody could pick up a body up to the coroner's office.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah.
No, so they pick them up in the coroner
This is
office.
where the funeral directors can pick them up directly, but
If they were certified in hospice and they had documentation reflecting the funeral home, they pick them up, but
I asked Biggs about that for some clarification. I don't know why.
Okay, so you vote on that.
I mean, it's not a lot of money, but I'm just wondering
okay.
what the policy is.
But how can you pick up home if the family department has a new services? And who pick them up?
Well, okay. You have any other questions on this bill list? Okay, motion to ratify the bills list for July 8th. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, Alderman. All right, and the July 22nd bills list. You didn't have that? You want to take a look at it?
Yeah.
Okay. There was one question that I had highlighted. In regards to,
Kimani, could you tell me to pass over?
claims.
Please.
This is under
Miscellaneous appropriation.
From last, thank you.
One for $1,470 the other one was $10,000.
Those are just, sometimes it's free, the CCMS side, sometimes it's actually claims, so $10 to insure person's name.
Yes, yes, Vincent,
So that's a sub.
CCMS, what is it?
That is third party administrators, that they are all insurance claims
Okay.
on behalf of the city. Because we're self-insured, so we have to.
Okay.
And again, all settlements that the council approved, it excludes CCMS.
Yeah,
So if you look through there, all amongst this other things, they invoice us for the things, and then we got to change it.
So they pay for us because it's something.
Well, everybody has a TCO, you have insurance, they track all the costs. So we say, what is this, what happens, if even with the insurance companies, you have to double. So they track all the costs, so if we not deductible, we're going to be about paying the legal fees.
there was one, Bill, I know was for South Suburban College for, seminars. What kind of seminars they had?
Which department was it on? Was that the general, or it was?
I have to go back. Maybe one we discuss. I think it had something to do with customer service.
We just require some continuous style training.
Yeah,
That's all they need is staff training.
pretty common, yeah.
Right.
I think one of them, stuff I've seen all the time. Motion to ratify bills for July 22nd bills. Signify by saying aye, all in favor, aye. Okay. And we have 34. Yes, you got that? Oh, wonderful. Thank you. I had a chance to look at it. I'm reading this, so they don't need no help. When I print mine at home, I print them large.
Hey, what's that?
What should we fix? Finance?
That's on the senior service.
Yes.
Joe Williamson's program.
You know, I've noticed that we like use, Cynthia's.
The mat,
For cleaning the mat.
that mat, but it's also
So, the
beds.
ones for the police department and the fire department are exorbitant, a lot more than the ones for the street sand.
We require for the bed, police department, is the bed. We got site about
We
something.
the fire departments for them. Fire department for them.
But not so much for bed, but just additional stuff. Yeah, that's what this is.
meeting, chairman makes a recommendation to ratify the bills. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. It's so far behind.
Yeah, well, yeah, but, yeah. 2 weeks.
2 meetings canceled.
I was gonna put that.
Yeah. Okay. Portion of the meeting. Next portion of the meeting. First of all, good evening, everybody. Thank you all for coming. We're going to open up our meeting for public comment. If you have any statements or comments that you'd like to discuss, please feel free to state what your comment is. And we prefer to keep it to 3 minutes if possible. But since we don't have that many people, if we decide to go over, we'll go over a little bit.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, ma'am.
The August 12th bill slips,
Mm-hmm.
it's in your packet. It's in your packet. Did you go over the August 12th bill slips?
What about?
Did you go over the August 12th bill slips?
Yes, ma'am. We just did that one. That was the last one.
So the first bill slip is incorrectly dated. It says 2025, says 2024.
Well, actually, it's not incorrectly dated. The bills list, when they're generated, they come out 5 days prior to
Just say 2025.
Yeah,
2025.
correct.
As we rushing the year along, because I was running out with 2 birthdays a year already.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank
The
you.
next thing is that, so typically how, and you know this, comptroller, from a finance perspective, you would typically present what is going to be purchased, and you would purchase it. So we spent $30,260 on fireworks. And I have to just ask you, chair, member, comptroller, when we have streets that don't even have lights on, or it's the third world alderman that often speaks about businesses that owe taxes, right? I wouldn't think that we spend such a lofty amount on something as simple as fireworks. It was a 28-minute show, so roughly we spent about $1,005 per minute. Why are we not looking at doing possibly a purchase order so we can have a review, or you all as the finance committee can review and then make a purchase?
Which bills list was that on, Alderman?
The initial one that's March 2025, June 24th. It's 01.
K&A fireworks display, 4th of July display. Yeah, I see it.
That is increasingly high in my opinion. We have people on salary here that really only make about 40,000. That's the only person. So when I think about having one charge, that's a pretty hefty amount. That's a third almost of the 89,000 total spent in the general fund. So my suggestion, one is Alderman, and 2, as a resident, this could very well have maybe been spent in a much, more applicable place. Following that, I did send Mayor Clark a request, and following in the chain of command regarding the Gemini group. I've previously asked this question before. I know that you're lobbyists, but I just want to know what funds have we procured through your lobbying as the Gemini Group. We spent $13,000 with them, for 1 month, April 1, or 2 months, April 1 through 30, May 1. So for 2 months, we spent $13,000, and I'm not certain how or where the lobbying dollars that they're providing to us, where they've been retained, or perhaps Comptroller, you can see that how that particular, number came up. If I'm looking at this from a bi-weekly standpoint, that's about bi-weekly, and if you break that down, it's about a little over $1,800 a week. So I'm just trying to figure out, I'm not saying, we have the dollars, let's spend them on the, righteously, and I'm just saying as it relates to just in 2 and 3 transactions, we spent $43,000. That's a pretty hefty amount. When I look at people who are earning that, us as older persons annually. And then I just have to say, these particular pieces are being paid out. I've yet to, and we talked about this comptroller back on June 10th, it passed for my particular automatic reimbursement. So I really have a tip when I see $43,000 spent, and I've been spending dollars since last year on Thursday, April 26th, upwards until now, and I've yet to receive a reimbursement. And you mentioned that we're waiting for the real estate portion to come in, but that was already budgeted for $25,000, that you've been able to retain, as well as the first floor Alderman in your request. So when I'm looking at the bills list, I'm just trying, when I put things out at large for the city, as if, this past weekend I did a back to school event, it's publicly made known. And in instances like this, as you all know, I wasn't able to participate in the parade. So then to see that we're spending that amount is just, it's unheard of in my opinion. But for anything that we're doing, we should first do a purchase order, discuss it, like how we would create legislation in the community and then present it, to the council. So that's more of a statement than an ask, because you've ratified the bills, so they're going to be paid, but wouldn't you agree, or maybe give me some feedback on purchase order, then discussion, then purchase?
All right. Thank you. Thank you for your comment.
That was on that list. So I have some more questions, but I don't want to take any on this,
I don't see anybody, you want to say,
I just want to agree that, I think everybody, it would be more comfortable for everybody, the taxpayers, if we understood a little bit more. I mean, I assume you guys go make decisions publicly on what we're going to be spending. If you do that, then we don't ask questions afterwards, right? Just so we all feel comfortable. Because if we look at every town, everything in the news right now, we're really not comfortable with what the government's doing right now, because it keeps coming out that people are breaking the law. So if we could just get some things set up, like she's saying, I agree, ahead, you can stop that, and you can get the money to go where it needs to be. So that's all. I just wanted to concur and make that statement. I agree.
Thank you.
Not that right now.
Thank you for your statement, your comment.
And I can't find any, I was just curious what you're all looking at. I'm on your website. Are those public, what you're looking at?
The bills is?
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
They're all, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Well, Alderwoman, since there's nobody else, if you have any, Mr. Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, it's kind of related to what Colby was saying. I think you mentioned the Gemini fees. I was wondering about, it seemed like over the months that there was a lot of Antero group, like at least 40,000 a month. So like, what are we paying them for? And I think I saw the past few months they were just getting 40,000 just for the 154th Street project alone. But again, like we never saw any bids, any sort of paperwork. So I'm just wondering, what are we paying them for? What are we paying this lobbying group for? I know you mentioned the fireworks. That was about 40,000 too, right?
30.
32, yeah.
And the other, so it was the Antero group, and the other thing I've seen before said, think Antero, it said like on-demand services or something, and it would say like around 9 to 10,000. So I'm like, oh, what's that? Again, I mean, I know that there's some sort of consultant firm, I believe, but I was just wondering like what they, what if you could elaborate as far as what they do for the city.
You know, some of these expenditures that you're speaking in terms of, they're done by the executive branch of government here. You know, the legislative branch of government, we really don't have a lot of input on what the mayor's office does. As far as this fireworks expenditure for $30,000, okay, yes, we could have utilized $30,000 in a lot more efficient ways, okay? But then again, a lot of the residents, and you know, it's always the glass half full or half empty. There's a lot of residents that really enjoy coming out to the fire. They like to celebrate the 4th of July. So, that being said, I think that you would have to take that up with the mayor's office, you know, to really find out, you know, why we did it, you know, because we don't really have a lot of say so in whether or not it's going to be a fireworks show or not.
I guess my concern is whether it's the Antero group, expenses or the fireworks or whatever, shouldn't the city council be voting on these things ahead of time? So that, like I've gone to other meetings, for instance, where in other towns where they'll say the city council will push back against the executive, and they'll say, no, we vote to strike that from the bills. We're not going to pay for that, and they do that. But if these expenses, like we've had several canceled meetings, you haven't had, I don't know when the last finance committee meeting was, so it's harder, you know, if it's always coming after the fact. It's almost like there's no oversight because it's already, the money's already been spent.
Like we're playing catch up.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was my other concern. But also just in general, like if we don't know, if you guys don't know what Antero Group is doing, to me as a voter and a taxpayer, my taxes just went way up. That's concerning. Why are any of the aldermen voting yes for the bills? I mean, we don't know what we're paying them for. So that would be that's a huge concern, I think, because we're paying a lot of taxes for living here. Taxes are very high.
Thank you, sir. We have some late people coming in. If you'd like to make a public comment, please feel more than free to do so.
What am I?
Well,
Oh, no.
I do have another question. On the same bills list, I see that there was a reimbursement to a credit card. John Kasparsky in the audit, remember when we voted on a resolution to not pay in lump sum, but to pay in payments? And I voted no to that based on the findings of the financial audit that was completed back in 2021, where they stated that there was debit card mismanagement. So I'm not saying that's alluding that to this particular 01-102-5000.
Which one was
First
that?
line item under the
Alderman?
department, 102 administrative services for the bill list, the first initial bill list. There's a reimbursement on the credit card for $3,501.87. And so there's a line in the voting, and so when I look at this particular charge, I didn't know we had credit cards. I thought we, were paying things out via check base. But this is a reimbursement to a credit card. It's a pretty hefty amount. It's a third of the total amount of $11,000. So just trying to determine whose card was reimbursed, whose one sole card was reimbursed here. And then still, I'm just asking you all, why aren't we doing purchase orders, discussing that at this finance meeting, and then moving forward into a vote?
Your point was duly noted, and I'm in favor of the part about the purchase order, but unfortunately, we're 4 months behind. So that's something that we should take up in discussion for the future as far as doing purchase orders. But right now, we're just trying to get above water now.
Well, I think this would, in this meeting that we're going into this council meeting, when we get to this bills list, it would be very wise of us as alderpersons with our legislative power to say that we approve of the bills list. However, the following items we want to have we would like to table until further notice, so we can take a deeper, more in-depth look to see that these processes won't be redundant. Because if we don't do that today, and we have another, I don't know, just 3 meetings over the course of the summer season, we've only had 3 meetings. We had one in June, we only had the one in, May? We had
Last one
in
we
July.
had was in June.
Right. So if
Oh, that's-
if meetings are canceled next month, then we'll still be back at square one. And this is a lot of information to compact in a short window of 60 minutes for bills list. I'm just still on the one. I haven't even gotten into the rest of my questions for the rest of the bills list. So we really need to finance. I remember when I was on the finance committee, we would ask several questions, and I would send several emails to the mayor's office regarding all these particular indiscretions that I had regarding how money was being spent. And I'm getting these questions day in and out from residents that are blowing me up. You see them all here asking me about particular pieces, and I did send an email because I do believe in following the protocol. I did send an email, I have not heard back, perhaps I just have not heard back yet. But, just some additional insight. We spent with W&W Consulting Group, I'm not saying who that is, we spent $20,000 with them out of the finance department. A lot of these things I really can't speak to, beyond the things like uniform underneath police. I understand what that's police uniform. Like, okay, I get that first aid kit. But there are so many blanket things on here where I'm not certain. And to answer that, Ryan, on September 10th, the Intero Group, and I'm sure you all saw in your email, we'll be doing a presentation. I'm not certain if it's for the community at large, but they'll be coming to speak with us about what the plan is for 154 from Broadway to Wood. So just to have a bit of a reprieve on that, or informative information that's up ahead. But yeah, I would like to know what would you suggest that we do, Comptroller, as far as instituting something regarding having purchase orders, so we have a ahead of time notice on things before voting on them?
I would suggest you direct to the executive branch, to the mayor. This is certainly not my fault.
Thank you for your comment, Alderman. Yes, ma'am.
So my question, is really to the comptroller. I have a
Actually, let me
question.
interrupt for just a second. This is not question and answer, this is public comment. So you're
Okay,
more than-
my
more than-
comment.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
It's regarding the, financial report that was, it says, budget to actual summary for 12 months ending April 30th, 2024, and just reviewing the pie charts that were provided. There is, for year-to-date, April 2024, miscellaneous appropriation in the amount of $3,202,798. And I'm just kind of wondering, how can that be? What kind of accounting? I'm not an accountant, I'm not a CPA. I do work in my professional capacity in a government financial office. And I'm just wondering, how can a government organization, a governmental entity, have miscellaneous appropriations? Because it's my understanding that everything has to be backed up with a receipt and be checked off. I mean, you just can't, I can't just come in and charge $50 or charge $100 or charge 2.5 million because there's 3 million outstanding. So I just want to know how is that possible, and what kind of accounting system is set up? Because even looking at the bills list, it looks very simplistic as far as like the accounts. Doesn't look very much more sophisticated than like QuickBooks. And so again, I'm making more of a statement than a question, but I would just like to put that out there because I can't imagine how any auditor would approve $3 million in miscellaneous appropriations for a governmental entity.
Thank you for your comment, ma'am. Okay. Are there any other comments?
I have a comment.
Yes, sir.
How is that going to be paid if you have a $3 million debt? And you're asking the churches for tax money, which should be separate, and then you're charging extra money for businesses to join. I have a business, and I called the office, and they said that I've got to talk to a said person. I called that said person 7 times, no response. So, and I'm a businessman, so how the heck can you do business with Harvey if you can't get people on the phone?
Once again, sir, you entered in the room a little late, and we tried to explain or at least shed some light on how things are done in the city of Harvey and other municipalities as well. There's 2 branches of government. There's the executive branch of government and the legislative branch.
I understand all that. I went to school. I understand.
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
have to
sir.
tell me that. Just
Well,
tell me who's supposed
but
to
you
be handling
also
it.
said in your statement when you stood up
Yeah.
that how can we pay $3 million? This was a tentative budget. It's not saying that we paid $3 million to anybody. So that's why you stand corrected.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, who do I talk to about getting my business instituted in Harvey, Illinois?
That would be the planning department.
They don't answer the phone.
Well, try coming up. Maybe
I'll
if
do
you
it.
come in
I'll be here
person.
tomorrow.
Yeah, they can't deny you if you're here in person.
Okay, I'll be here tomorrow.
I have that same issue sometimes, not being able to get through on the phone. But if I come in person, I'm able to get things done.
Okay.
All right.
I'll take off the time.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your statement.
You know, alderpersons, as colleagues, one as a previous member of this particular committee, it's flabbergasting. Because no one knows anything. I'm not getting any rebuttals from the mayor's office. I can't get any rebuttals from you all because then we put everything back on the executive branch. Well, as the legislative branch, we're here to create policy, and that's what we certainly need to do today, tomorrow, and the very next day, and years to come, to institute building a better community. It all starts in the finance department, children. And in order to institute a new mode or a way in which we do things from a financial scale, we're gonna have to put something together to supersede the practices that have gone on for decades. We're here, and we've gone through 4 bill slips in a matter of 17 minutes. The other 18 have been dedicated to answering nothing but completing statements, similarly to what we do when we are in our city council meetings. The objective of the committee is to allow the community to partake and have a voice or use this platform to shed light on what they believe should be something we should be doing as alderpersons, as the government, as the city. And we're gonna have to do that at a point, right? We're gonna be starting up the public safety committee and here next week on Wednesday. And I'm hopeful to be able to answer some questions, right? We struggled with that when I was here as a member of this committee and as the chair, where Alderwoman Smith currently sits, the chair of the Economic Development Committee. There are several questions. This is not to antagonize. This is not to thwart the authority. What this is to do is to allow for some plain old transparency. Because I can't answer, and I'm not gonna tell the residents, directly ask the chairman and or, like you say, the executive branch, but they're not getting that, and then they come to me in frustration, and honestly, it frustrates me because I don't know how to best answer the question. Confidential is written over everything. As you all know, these are public documents. When you go to our neighboring community of Tinley or Homewood, these things are up on the website. They're not here. And I understand it's a process, right? So I'm not here to scold you all as my colleagues, but I am here to say that I'm being over-inundated with a bazillion questions, and I don't know how to best answer them. So just trying to make a statement that there must be something done to to be proactive in this financial approach to how we're going to govern in the city of Harlem. The way in which we're doing this to ratify everything within 18 minutes, Sheridan, it's not enough. We must do something different here because nothing's being answered. Nothing. Nobody has anything, no rebuttal to say about any of it. I caught something that was a year. It said 2025. That's no disrespect to you, Mr. Wood. But if we're having menial mistakes, I can only imagine the major ones. That is all.
Thank you, Alderman.
I got a comment.
Please, by all means.
In regards to the confidential that's put on the financial information about how the money's being spent, I think it's a real slap in the face to the residents when there's nothing confidential about taxes that they have to pay. You know, to all those things that the city is trying to render services to. It's an insult, and it's an insult to my intelligence. It's an insult to the residents' intelligence because we all know that there's nothing confidential about collecting taxes and paying bills for a city, town, municipality, whatever it is. It's all transparent from the smallest to the federal government, to all that information is out there. You can get it. So it's not confidential. You all need to suggest to him that he needs to take that down because it's not working. It's something to slow the process down of reviewing and finding out what is not right in that report. And that's the only purpose that it's there for.
I have a mistake on us made, looking at the bills list. I'm sorry, was somebody about to say anything?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, August 12th, right, Patrick Walsh was retained in a special investigator that was assigned to me alongside Gemini Group to write a dissertation on me allowing young people to not be safe in the city of Harlem. And I couldn't imagine what this independent investigation, and we paid Patrick Walsh, now I can't add up the rest of the numbers, but 6, 7, 8, we paid Patrick Walsh close to $13,000 for an independent investigation. Patrick Walsh serves in Calumet City. What professional services would he be providing to us? I know that's the same special investigator that did all the research on me regarding the censure that I was up against. And so what would we, if I have a fiduciary commitment to the city, I'm certain that the city of Harlem has a fiduciary commitment to me and to all the person. I'm trying to figure out what he would now be independently, what would he be independently investigating at the amount of almost 13? What would he be independently investigating at an almost close amount of $13,000? He also, as mentioned, is the same investigator who investigated me regarding the whole censure piece that I was up against, that's still at a table position. But what would he have been investigating in the city of Harlem at a whopping $13,000? That's something that we need to look into. That should be tabled on the August 12th bills.
Well, I know for a fact that there's several attorney groups that we pay every month.
Right, like you mentioned earlier, Montana and Welch, which is CC.
Montana Welch, Axel Glenn, and Mafia Ready, there's several. And Welch is one that I've always watched. I've seen him on the bills list multiple times.
I've never seen him in a whopping $13,000 for one charge.
I don't know how to assess legal fees or how they go about billing, but I have seen this particular attorney on several bills lists.
Can I make a suggestion related to that? A lot of us are having questions about what's being paid, what it's for. Now, we've been told to ask the mayor. The mayor has said in city council meetings, ask the mayor. I can't speak for everyone here, but I can say for myself, we do not get answers from the mayor's office. So if we're not getting answers from the executive, which I know you're telling us to ask them, but we're not getting those answers, I would suggest that you guys should not be voting on these things, because that means you're voting on things that literally no one knows what's going on. So we're paying thousands, tens of thousands of our tax dollars are going every bills period to all these organizations, and like you said, you have no idea why Patrick Walsh was paid $13,000, and it could be true, you have no idea, but then my question is, why are aldermen still voting yes? That is really concerning to me, because I still have to pay the same tax dollars. I would hope that the least consideration you could do is figure out what it's being paid for, but no, everybody just votes yes, 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 yes. I mean, that's very concerning. So I know you said we should ask the mayor, but we don't get answers from the mayor. So then us as citizens are, well, basically we're being told is, you sit down, shut up, pay the bills, we're gonna pay for whatever we want, and no one's gonna tell you what it's for. That's what it ends up being. Because we're always shifted around to go to this office, go to this person. So, like Colby said, it's just not sustainable. We can't do that. I don't know about anybody here, but like I said, my property taxes went way up. I mean,
Yeah, mine too.
it's not
And I pay-
sustainable.
I got 2 lots, you know, it's ridiculous. And, I mean, we paying all this money. Nobody has an answer to anything. Where is this going? Why is it being paid? Who's paying it? Who approved it? But everybody's saying yes. And, you know, the problem is too, Alderman Rogers, you sat on boards before. You know how this process goes. Y'all know, it's not like y'all don't know, it's like y'all
Many
did-
years, many years.
Yeah, y'all sat on these boards. You know what I'm saying? So y'all know how these finances are supposed to look and how, you know, who pays what, you know, y'all know all this. Y'all know the process, the procedure, y'all know the protocol. And then y'all get up here and act like y'all don't know nothing. But then y'all vote yes to everything and you have no answers to nobody. And then y'all get upset when people question and ask y'all stuff. It's like, no, just call me. Calling you for what? I feel like if this is a meeting for the masses, then I should be able to question and ask you in front of the people. I don't have to do a one-on-one. I don't have to do none of that. You know, just like last term, I used to have you, Randall L., after Tuesday, after every meeting, I used to have y'all come and sit with the people and explain to the people about what's going on in these meetings. And y'all did that. You know what I'm saying? But now y'all act like y'all don't know nothing. What happened between last term and now? Like, I don't understand. And everything is going up. Services are getting crappy. But we just passing along bills and paying bills for what? It makes no sense. It really does. It makes no sense. And people just, you know, sitting up here want to know why. It's not like people trying to be malicious, people trying to be, you know, mean or whatever, but we want to know why. That's just like if you wake up in the morning and your bank account is on zero, you won't call that bank and wonder why, where my money at? You gonna want to know, just like we want to know, where our tax dollars going? Y'all need to tell us something. This is getting ridiculous. For real, it's really getting ridiculous. This your second term, sitting here as an alderperson. You know better. It's not like you don't know, you know better. You did an excellent job. You, Randall L., y'all did excellent jobs explaining to the people after the council meetings last time. It's like, now y'all don't know nothing. Why? What's going on?
Thank you for your comment, Ms. Oaks.
Comment, why we just can't see the copies of the invoices? That would detail everything, every service that is being paid. It should. So everyone will know what we're paying. Why we can't see the invoices? There's a bill for everything. The gas company don't just bill you, they don't just send you a map, they send you a bill.
Yeah, how much
From
water?
this date to that date, the water department, every operating financial institution that utilizes that, sends it back. I don't even understand why it's a secret. Because I am a homeowner too. So I pay taxes, 20 plus years. I've never seen an invoice. How does that work? How do you even pay it without an invoice?
That's the big one.
That's the question. How you pay it and you ain't even seen the invoice? That's the $1 million question right there. A purchase order, a PO, a work order, some check request.
alumni, grew up here, class 86. From Harvey, came back here to help clean up Harvey. The books have always been open. Why have they been closed?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear
The
you.
books has always been open. You should be able to walk in and say, I want to see what you're spending my money on. Why they closed? Why don't nobody know nothing? Because that's the code in Harvey. We know nothing. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. So it's a bunch of BS that's going on, and you gotta stop. I'm an alumni, and I got a lot of alumni sisters and brothers that all you see these houses, this dilapidated, they're not vandals, they just been neglected. Because we refuse to come back here. I'd rather let the raccoons live in my grandmother's house right now. I'd rather let the raccoons live there. They say sell share, why don't you sell properties? Why should I be a seller? When my daddy was Paul Daniels, a senior, the first black businessman to come and put businesses here in City Hall. He's rolling over his grave. I got a hospice to come back to Harvey, to help put back Harvey, one block at a time. I'm only one old lady. I walk around here with this cane, people in the morning, run away. Robbers, killers, crackheads, roaches, rats, all that. With my own money, I feed the hungry, help the homeless with my own money. But where's the money going that I take the taxes in? Where's the automatic invoice? When y'all gonna see that? I see it tell us. I'm with everybody else. Show me my money.
And I just have to say, if that's the resounding thing.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your comment.
That is a resounding thing among everyone that sits here. We have to do something. Legislative branch, we must do something. We need to mandate ourselves to it. We're now in the fourth quarter of the 2024 year. We've been in a year and some change. I'm the most freshman Alden person here, and I have the most questions too, because I'm not certain how we're handling the business. $30,260 should never be acceptable in a community that, again, our third ward always points out that is in a deficit. How you go around and ask every person here, would they have rather seen fireworks or better sidewalks or better curbs or lights? Lights. We don't need any fireworks. We see them every day across the
What
country.
about houses for the homeless people that's walking around here, with the mentally ill, that's sick, sleeping on the Engle steps? How about I open up one of my houses, just for them to come in and have somewhere to sleep and something to eat out of my own pocket, and I'm a disabled senior. It brings tears to my heart. I am disappointed to come back home and see what the heck y'all tearing up 154th Street for. And I got people sleeping on the streets with nothing to eat. A waste of time, a waste of my money.
Well, folks,
I'm
we
disappointed.
got a lot of issues, and they're being heard. They're not falling on deaf ears. But right now, we have to get ready for our next meeting, and I appreciate everybody's comment. I appreciate everybody coming out, and thank you all for coming. We're gonna adjourn the meeting at 6:51.